So for double dimensional array, okay, it's also called as metric. Okay, double dimensional array. It is also called as matrix. Okay, matrix of data. So right now, the array which I have created over here is a 3 by 3 double dimensional array. Okay, three different rows and three different columns. Okay, after. So to create array, double dimensional array, I'll just say integer. Okay, for double dimension, I have to mention two square brackets. Okay, that way. Variable name and equals. I'll say new integer, and then two brackets with their sizes. So the first bracket symbolizes the row, second bracket symbolizes the column. So three rows and three columns. Now you can see I have just given three rows. Okay, so this is also, this kind of notation is also possible and perfectly fine. Okay, wherein we can just mention the row, and this, if you don't mention it, means you can enter any number of columns or values. But right now we'll just say three. But this is not possible, you cannot skip the rows part. In that case you are going to get an error. Cannot specify an array dimension after an empty dimension. So the first has to be given, the first dimension has to be given, second dimension can be skipped. Okay, so this is a declaration part. Again, to store, I'll just say 0 0 equals some value. Okay, so 45 will be stored over here at this portion. Okay, so 45 this way, 0 0. And if I want to store value over here, I will be marking the index as 0 1. So then it will be like double dimensional 0 1 and some value. Okay, this way and so on. You can store any number of values. Okay, but over here, compared to a single dimensional array wherein we used only one for loop, in case of double dimensional array we have to go with two for loops. Okay, so let me write the code and then I'll explain you how it works actually. Okay, so I'll just say for integer row equals 0, row less than dt dot length semicolon row. You can give any name to this variable. Okay, I am giving this name row because you can relate to the term. Okay, and then there will be an inner loop for integer column equals 0, column less than dt of row dot length. Okay, whenever you want to access any kind of double dimensional array, just refer to this for loop, just copy and paste it. Okay, the remaining you just have to change the name. Okay, I'll explain this part. Right now I'm storing the values also dynamically. Okay, this is a hard coded value. I'll store it dynamically. So I'll just write some quotient, 30 plus row multiplied by 2. Okay, I'll just create an expression over here so that there could be any random value stored. Okay, by 3. Just don't go with this thing. Okay, this is, I'm just creating randomly to store some values in this entire matrix, and then I'll write this out. Okay, I'll remove, then over here I'll say dt equal column plus this way, and then this out. Okay, let's run this and see the output, and then I'll explain how it works. Okay, so you can see this is the values which have been stored as part of this logic double for loop, and it has been printed also. Okay, so it is printed in a tabular structure. Okay, So how it got printed in tabular structure, we'll understand. So let's debug and understand. So I'll keep a debug point over here. Okay. And we'll start debugging. So it will open up a debug perspective wherein we can go step by step, one by one. So our code stops over here, and if I execute, okay, one line at a time. So right now row is 0. Okay, so over here you will see row equal to 0, and then because 0 is less than 3, okay, dd dot length. So what is the length? 3. Okay, so 0 is less than 3, so it will go inside. Okay, see, row equals 0, and because it is less than 3, it went inside. Now it will initialize column. So column is 0, 0 is less than dd of 0. Right now row is 0, so dd of 0, that is the first row. First row length, what is the first row length? The first row length is 3. Well, there are 3 columns, isn't it? So this will be 3. So 0 is less than 3. Yes. Okay, see, if you mark it over here, you can see this way, 0 1 2. Okay, and then increment part. So increment part will come in the second iteration, but right now 0 is less than 3, so it will go inside. See, column is 0, it went inside. dd row 0, column 0, and some random calculation. Okay, so data will be stored in 0 0, dd of 0 0. That is this one, this particular cell. Okay, that data will be stored, and then I want to print that data also. So this line will execute and it will print value on the console. See, it printed 30 because row is 0, column is 0. So 0 into anything is 0, and then 30 plus. So it came 30. Now you can see I have removed this print ln. Okay, ln I have removed over here. So ln means next line. Okay, ln means next line. So what actually ln does, if I would have written ln over here, it would have printed this value, and then the cursor would have gone to the next level, the next line. Okay, but because I have removed ln, what it will do, it will print the value and then give a space, and then the cursor will be placed. So cursor right now is over here. It didn't went to the second level or next line because I have removed ln. ln means next line. Okay, if you remove it, whatever you are printing, it will be printed in the same line. The moment you say ln, okay, it will go to, the cursor will go to the next line. Okay, because I want to print all the column values in a same line, that's why I have removed ln over here. And now again you can see inner for loop. The program goes to the inner for loop. It will increment column. Okay, I'll say so. It increased this column by 1. Again 1 is less than 3. Yes, it went inside. So 0, row is already 0, so dd of 0 and 1. So what logic we are written, that for each row there will be 3 iterations. Okay, 3 iterations of the inner loop. So for the first for loop or the outer for loop, row is 0. Okay, for that first row there will be 3 iterations of the inner loop. Then the outer loop will be incremented and it will be made as row equals 1. Again the inner loop will be executed 3 times. That way this is going to happen. Okay, so the column is 1, printing. Again it went over here, column will be incremented to 2. Right now it's 1 2. Now column will be incremented from 2 to 3, and 3 is less than 3, no, false. So then it will come out of the loop, come out of the inner loop. See, it came out of the inner loop. Okay, and then it's going to print this statement. I have not written anything over here, so it will just mark a movement of cursor from this line to the next row. See, your cursor went actually downwards, cursor went over here. Okay, now row is already 0, now it will be incremented. So row became 1. Now again for row 1, this this inner loop will be iterated 3 times. Okay, so let's run this. So 1 0 1 1, okay, 1 2, that's it, completed. Column becomes 3, came out of the inner loop. Cursor goes to the next line, row incremented to 2. For 2, row 2, that is the third row, again this will be like executed 3 times. This inner loop will be executed 3 times. So all the 9 values have been printed out. So this is how you can understand how this particular two for loops for each values, okay, in a tabular format you can access with this two for loops. I'll give you one example also for our website. This is a gadgets gallery website. It's an e-commerce website selling out electronic gadgets. Now you can see this is nothing but a tabular structure, 3 by 3, 3 rows, 3 columns. So if I want to fetch these name of the product, all the name of the products or the price of these products, then I can store all these values in a double dimensional array, right? So this is nothing but a tabular format, tabular structure. Okay, so we are going to understand later about this part, okay, in WebDriver. Even about this, like camera, headphones, mobile phones, these are a sequential data in all are like categories. Okay, camera, headphones, these are categories. So they can be stored in a single dimensional array. All these values can be stored in a single dimensional array. They can be fetched from the website and can be stored in a single dimensional array. Similarly, these drop down values, these also can be fetched from the drop down and stored in a single dimensional array. Right. So this is how our double dimensional array works. Again, right now we have used integer. You can use string, char, boolean, double, float, object as a data type over here. So this completes our double dimensional array. And the notation I have explained you over here. Okay, this kind of notation. If you want to initialize this or write this way in case of double dimension, what you can do is I'll say integer, so 2 brackets, and then I'll say dd1 equals, so curly braces, and then there will be different curly braces which tells you about the row. So this curly braces tells the first row, second row, third row. Now there can be values, so 12, 15, 17, and 14, 17, any value you can write down right now. So these are total 9 values. Okay, this particular value symbolizes first row, first column value. This is first row, second column, first row, third column, second row, first column, second row, second column, second row, third column, and so on. Okay, so you can represent double dimensional array or initialize a DDA, a double dimensional array this way. Mm, fine. So this completes our double dimensional array portion.